What's going on, guys? Carlos from Coin Vigilante today. How we doing? All right, we got Bitcoin, guys. Bitcoin breaking all-time highs. Unbelievable. This is, unfucking believable. We are at what? $23,000, $24,000 as we speak. I got an alert on my Coinbase saying that Bitcoin was $23,700 at like 4 a.m. I woke up. I had to tweet about it. It's unbelievable. We have been waiting 3 years for this moment to happen. All right. $20,000 was the top in 2017, and we have broken that all-time high that we saw in 2017. 3 years of long accumulation, dealing with the bullshit, people telling you that Bitcoin's crap, Bitcoin's a bubble, there's no future for it. Obstacles after obstacles, and patience. Patience is key. And we have gotten this far, and we did it. And so I celebrate with you guys, drinking and sipping my coffee. On, what is today? Thursday. It's not even the morning, 12:34. But as I'm doing this video, basically, we need to start realizing and thinking of where we are as we speak. And so, let me pull this chart right here. When we are thinking of where we are at, so if we look at the previous all-time high when we broke it, we are basically sitting at this point right here. So, we have to be thinking in terms of when we are going to add to our position. And so a lot of the people that follow me on my videos and, newer people that are reading my newsletter, and, a lot of people are asking me, is it too late to get in? I don't think it's too late to get in. This is basically the new bull market, and we are entering the bull market. Okay, so we are basically sitting at this point in the bull market. We have all of this room to cover. Now, I've been covering it in my newsletter, and I've been talking about the possibility of getting a 30% correction. So I was actually writing about it somewhere around here. Okay, so I said, and looking at it from previous historical patterns. Okay, so this was the previous, we saw a bear market, and then in the bull market of 2017, we saw that Bitcoin tested the all-time high of about 1,100, and then it immediately saw a correction. So it failed to break that resistance level, key resistance level, to enter the bull market. And now watch this, and this is something that I've been covering too in my newsletter. We are seeing that it tests the 25 moving average. Now you can use 25, 21 moving average. They're a little bit closer. But we see a rejection here. Then we see a test of 25 moving average. And then once again, we see it test. And then it breaks over the all-time high. And then what happens? A 33% correction. And it tests the 25 moving average. And this has been the case if we see hit, another hit, not quite, but right there. And so what I'm trying to say here is that in my newsletter, I cover this, and I'm going to show you guys in this video. Here I'm using the 21 moving average to see that it's a little bit more accurate. We see buying opportunities as we enter this bull market. So for the little guy out there, and for those that, have not been exposed to Bitcoin yet, we will see these opportunities to accumulate and to buy heavy. And I am actually looking for that opportunity as we speak. And again, something that's important is you do not want to sell your spot position. So the Bitcoin that you have, trying to time the market. Okay, we just reached, a mania. Bitcoin's moving very high. It's at 24,000 right now. I'm not going to sell my Bitcoin. I'm not going to lose an opportunity, because I was too greedy and I wanted to catch a big correction. I'm just going to accumulate more as we go because I cannot afford to lose Bitcoin. Okay, I need that Bitcoin. And so as we do this, we're looking for these 30% corrections and then looking at this macro range that I've been talking about in my newsletter. We see this mid-range was basically tested here in its most recent correction. It was about 17 to 20% decline, but it was short-lived, and as soon as we hit that, we were testing this range high. And now we saw a convincing break over the range high, and now it's really interesting. And this is looking at the weekly. If we look at the daily here, let's see. Look at this. So I've been talking about this. We have been trading between the mid-range and the high range so far, and we have not seen this range low yet. Now, where it gets interesting is a possibility of where this can go. And I think, in my opinion, there's still some room to go up a bit, but when you have a trend that is basically a verticality trend, and this is as vertical as can be, you have to, I mean, vertical trends are accompanied by a correction. And looking at previous bull market, not even bear market, previous bull market historicals for Bitcoin, we see a 30% correction or more. So this should not surprise you, and you cannot have weak hands. You can't sell into this panic. You need to buy. And that is what I'm trying to tell you in this video here, guys. We have a very good opportunity coming, and I will accumulate when I see that opportunity reaching. Now, it could very well reach, let's see, $24,000 easily. I mean, we could see something like this. Like that, right? And, you know, it is a possibility. Now, I am more interested in possibly seeing it reach 24,000 and then going down from there. Now, that right there is only about, yep, it's about a 30% decline. We could go even further. We've seen Bitcoin drop 38% in a bull market. And that would fall in line with what I've been saying in my newsletter, okay? That we could possibly retest 14,000. Now, that is on the lower end. But anything below 20K, guys, in my opinion, that's a strong buy. That is a strong buy that we are looking for. Because, remember, and I've been talking about it in my newsletter. Now, we're talking a lot about price. But if we go to my newsletter, and here you see I do a free newsletter, coinvigilante.substack.com. It is free for now, and you guys can, and it's about a 7-minute read. It wouldn't hurt you just checking it out. But in my first newsletter, I'm basically talking about the Bitcoin thesis. And now, one of the reasons why I'm a little bit hesitant of this drop is because back in 2017, the whole bull market and the people at play were the retail. It was retail that was doing this. Now, we have huge institutions at play. We have legendary investors that are buying Bitcoin, and more big institutions and players are disclosing that they are buying Bitcoin and that they, you know, a certain percentage of their portfolio is allocated into Bitcoin. Now, to me, that's a different paradigm. So we're in a different environment. Now, we could see maybe shorter declines, not as big declines. But again, looking at historicals, I think something greater than 20% decline, you know, is in play. But again, does it really matter if I tell you, to buy Bitcoin at 20,000, 18,000, 17,000, 13,000? It doesn't matter. To me, it's a trivial matter because the opportunity for Bitcoin and the future for Bitcoin is incredible. I like to think of Bitcoin as a technology, as a technological advancement for money. And we've never seen this happen before. Decentralized, immutable, and the most important part, scarce. Scarcity. There's only 21 million Bitcoins, guys. The cash that you have sitting in your bank account earning 0.0001% is dying, thanks to the central banks and government, monetary and fiscal policy that's screwing and fucking with your cash and your currency. And so, for once, we have the opportunity to store our hard-earned money in a store of value like Bitcoin. And to me, that's a huge technological development. And similar to what we saw in Apple, Google, Facebook. And this is something that Michael Saylor talks about. I kind of got it from him, but it just resonates with me so much. Apple ended up dematerializing all of your mobile devices. Google dematerialized every library, every piece of video, information available. You can, look anything up with a click. Facebook dematerialized social relationships. Everything you do is on Facebook, social media, Twitter. Amazon dematerialized all their storefronts. I mean, retailers have been shafted. That's just how it's been. And so, in the same manner, Bitcoin has changed to create the first software network that can decentralize money for the people. It is not controlled by a single entity, guys. This is huge. No one can fuck with it. No one can tamper with it. And that is what's so important about this. And this scarcity is what is driving the price increase in Bitcoin right now. Guys, PayPal is integrating Bitcoin, Litecoin, Ethereum into their, network. And they already have. You literally go to PayPal. It is right there. You hit crypto. You can buy Litecoin, Bitcoin, Ethereum. It's amazing. And so basically they have 400 million customers. And in 2021, they plan on, letting their merchants and businesses actually be able to accept crypto. I mean, it is unbelievable. The use case and utility for Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies is becoming more widespread, and the infrastructure is building around it. Now, I've talked about mining a little bit. Mining is a complicated thing, especially for new people entering the system, but a certain amount of Bitcoin is mined every day. Every 4 years, that supply that enters the system is cut in half. Unlike central bankers who just print the shit out of money, right? We see 30% of cash in the existence of the U.S. printed this year. So we saw it. 30% of all cash in the existence of the U.S. was printed this year alone. I mean, you're getting shafted, guys. I mean, this isn't hard to get. I mean, if you need to talk to me, let's go. I mean, I'll give you my phone number. Let's talk, because we need to get this in your head. And so this Bitcoin that's being mined, PayPal is buying all of it that's being mined daily. All of it. Okay, so we are buying more Bitcoin than is actually being supplied. So we're seeing a supply shock. There is not enough Bitcoins, and there is incredible demand. So this is economics 101. When you have a demand, very high demand from legendary investors, large institutions, you start to, and then you have a supply that's very small, obviously you're going to see an insane increase in price of Bitcoin. And that is what we are seeing. This is not hard to get, guys. I mean, look at this move. It has been a 500% increase since a March low. And so, again, it is important to notice that this is a technological advancement, and that we can't get too greedy trying to time the market. We do our best to get our money's worth. Of course, we want to accumulate as much Bitcoin as possible. But leaving all the noise aside, I'll allocate some money into it, average into it, expose yourself into one of the biggest technologies ever invented. It is the future. It's like the internet, except the internet was about information. This is about money. It is decentralizing money. The internet decentralized information. Newspapers were your only source to obtain information. What happened with the internet? It opened the doors for everyone who needed to look anything up. And so, in the same manner, the same thing is happening with Bitcoin. So guys, try to open your eyes. We need to be a little bit smart here and realize that, we have an opportunity of a lifetime. And I cover this in my newsletters. I give you a newsletter every week for free. And I sometimes talk about in-depth analysis trading analysis. I do talk about what I see, you know, in the whole market as a whole. And to me, this is really exciting. So far, the first video was quite successful. 4,000 views in the first video and 60 to 70 awesome subscribers. So I'm gonna keep doing these videos, guys, and I'm gonna try to give you, you know, alerts in my newsletter. I already gave some alerts in my newsletter, as you see here. Bitcoin alert, new all-time high. I talk a little bit about the possibility, and I did talk about this. I mentioned somewhere in my newsletter, I don't know where it is. It would not surprise me if it wicks to 21,000, 22,000. It went up even further, okay? Now, we just have to be a little bit cautious. To be honest, I'm not buying right now. I'm not going to buy at these price levels. I just don't, you know, I think it's a bit risky buying at this very top. But again, if I told you about Facebook, Apple, and I told you any of these companies, Google, back in, I don't know, 10 years ago, 15 years ago, should you buy at $20, $15, $17 Facebook, $5 Amazon, or $30 Amazon, or $50 Amazon? It wouldn't have fucking mattered. Look at the price now. Look at the long term, guys. Trading is difficult, and you need to be very good at trading. And I am not the best trader, I gotta say. But I am good at looking at the macro perspective and knowing when a good opportunity lies ahead. And this is what we're seeing. And I'm looking at the long-term play here. And we are entering, it's a 4-year cycle for Bitcoin. And I hope you see it here. So what happens here is we saw this bull run here. All right. So from about 2016 to 2017 bull run. So that was basically what we saw last and 3 years ago. Then we see a bear market, and then we see a recovery phase, and then we see another bull market here. Now, where are we going to get to? I've seen JP Morgan talk about, let's see, I actually have it in my newsletter. There you go. Let's go back to it. Here we go. Let's go all the way down. Right here, Citibank. Price target of $318,000 by end of 2021. All right. A decoupling of gold from fiat currencies. The COVID-19 pandemic and the desire for central banks to pursue aggressive quantitative easing policies could lead to future explosive price growth in Bitcoin. Now, JP Morgan also turned bullish. Bullish on Bitcoin. Cryptocurrencies derive value not only because they serve as stores of wealth, but also due to their utility as means of payment. The more economic agents accept cryptocurrencies as a means of payment in the future, the higher their utility value. Then you have Paul Tudor Jones, Druckenmiller, Ray Dalio, Chamath, all these people getting into Bitcoin. And then you have BlackRock, the world's largest asset manager with over $7.4 trillion. They're starting to, you know, let people know that, hey, we have a lot of institutional interest in this. And so all these people are getting in. And I actually have another thing that I shared here in one of my group chats. Let me see. Basically, I think it was, yeah, right here. So at $13 trillion yeah, under custody, this is a Northern Trust. So think about that, guys. $13 trillion. Standard Chartered and Northern Trust partnered to launch Zodia, a cryptocurrency custodian for institutional investors. And what they're going to do is they're going to include Litecoin, Bitcoin, Ethereum, XRP, Bitcoin Trash. That's Bitcoin Cash. Don't buy Bitcoin Cash. Buy Bitcoin. Bitcoin. And this is incredibly bullish. So we have PayPal. We have 13.3 trillion in custody, asset manager who's getting in, BlackRock, JP Morgan, Citibank. Companies are buying Bitcoin to put it in their treasury as they fear this great monetary inflation. So it's an unbelievable time. It's a paradigm shift, and it is all, you know, playing out as we speak. We've waited 3 long years to meet the all-time high of 20,000. Now we breached it, and now we're waiting for buying opportunities, guys. Don't fall into the greed. Don't FOMO. Don't fear of missing out into an investment, into a trade. And if you guys like this video and this content, please give me a like, subscribe to my YouTube channel. I'll keep on doing these videos. I'll keep on improving the quality. I'm trying to get a new camera to make this look a little bit better, better audio system too. And if you want a more in-depth analysis that cuts out the bullshit and gets right into the business, you can subscribe on my newsletter, coinvigilante.substack.com. I will leave it under the description. You can check it out. Anyway, all right, let's celebrate with our coffee this morning, afternoon. And long live Bitcoin. Let's go.